Have you ever stopped to ponder how a single man living over 2,000 years ago could still influence the world today? A man who hails from the sun-drenched landscapes of ancient Greece, a man named Aristotle. Born in the historic city of Stagira, Greece in the year 384 before Christ, Aristotle was destined for greatness. His journey of knowledge began under the tutelage of none other than the renowned philosopher Plato, at the illustrious Plato's Academy. Imagine, if you will, a young Aristotle, eager and curious, absorbing the wisdom flowing from one of the greatest minds the world has ever known. This was the foundation, the starting point of a journey that would see Aristotle rise from a young student to an intellectual colossus, a philosopher whose thoughts, ideas and principles would echo through the annals of history. So, how did Aristotle rise from a young student in Plato's Academy to an intellectual giant whose thoughts still resonate today? Aristotle didn't become influential by chance. His vast contributions to various fields of knowledge are testament to his intellectual prowess. Picture this: a man, not content with the knowledge of his time, decides to establish his own school, the Lyceum. That man was Aristotle, and his school was not just a place of learning, but a breeding ground for revolutionary ideas. In physics, Aristotle dared to question the nature of matter and motion. He introduced the concept of potentiality and actuality, which are fundamental to our understanding of how things change and evolve. In metaphysics, he delved into the abstract, wrestling with concepts of existence, reality, and causality. Aristotle was not just a man of science, he had a deep passion for the arts. In poetry, theatre and music, he explored the power of narrative, the catharsis of tragedy, and the harmony of sounds. His work in these fields provided the foundations for literary theory and aesthetics. In the realm of logic and rhetoric, Aristotle was a trailblazer. He developed the syllogism, a form of logical argument that remains a cornerstone of deductive reasoning. He also studied the art of persuasion, dissecting it into ethos, pathos, and logos, principles that are still taught in communication classes today. Aristotle's influence extended to the spheres of politics and government. He examined different forms of governance, advocating for a constitutional government as the best form. His treatise on ethics, where he introduced the concept of eudaimonia, or flourishing, has shaped moral philosophy for centuries. Lastly, Aristotle was a pioneer in biology and zoology. He was among the first to categorize animals and study their behavior. His observations laid the groundwork for the biological sciences, offering insights into the complexity and diversity of life. These vast and varied contributions of Aristotle laid the groundwork for much of Western knowledge. But his influence didn't end at the accumulation of knowledge. His greatest impact might have been on how we think about thinking itself. Aristotle's influence didn't end there. His greatest impact might have been on how we think about thinking itself. What is so great about Aristotle, and why does his influence persist today, you may ask? Let's delve into this, shall we? Aristotle was a man of many talents, dabbling in numerous fields of knowledge, but perhaps one of his most enduring contributions was his work in logic. His systematic approach to thinking and reasoning laid the groundwork for what we now know as the scientific method. Aristotle asserted the importance of observation and inquiry, of asking questions and seeking answers, of testing hypotheses and drawing conclusions based on empirical evidence. This fundamental tenet of science, as we understand it today, is a direct legacy of Aristotle's pioneering work. But Aristotle's influence extends far beyond the realm of science. He has shaped the very way we think. Western philosophy and thought owe an enormous debt to Aristotle. His theories on metaphysics, ethics, and politics, among others, have formed the backbone of philosophical discourse for more than 2 millennia. His ideas have been built upon, challenged, and reinterpreted, but they remain at the core of our intellectual heritage. One of Aristotle's most enduring ideas, and one that still resonates with us today, is his philosophy of moderation in all things. Aristotle believed that virtue lay in the middle ground, between deficiency and excess. This concept, known as the golden mean, is a principle that continues to guide our understanding of ethics and morality. It encourages us to seek balance in our lives, to avoid extremes, and to strive for a state of equilibrium. This ancient wisdom, as relevant today as it was in Aristotle's time, is a testament to his profound understanding of the human condition. So, the next time you ask a probing question, ponder a moral dilemma or marvel at the complexity of nature, remember Aristotle. His legacy lives on, not just in textbooks, but in the very fabric of our understanding of the world. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.